Hey guys, just do a quick video. This is something that I guess rings home relatively true to myself as a coach, and it's about respecting coaching and coaches. So, I've been privileged enough to coach with and alongside many of Australia's best coaches. I've been very lucky to be coached by some of the best coaches in the world, and learned from a very young age to respect the coach as an athlete, but also as a coach. Now, myself, one of my biggest ticks, or one of my biggest things that I focus on, or part of my life in coaching, is that if I see another athlete doing something that's technically not the way I would coach it, but that coach teaches that, I won't butt in and try and change anything out of respect to that coach and what could be going on. So let's say I see a lifter who's squatting for powerlifting and they've got their feet close together and they do a whole lot of weird things when they squat. And then in my mind I go, well, technically that doesn't look very good. Technically that's not the way I would teach it. But then you find out later on that they've got a hip imbalance or an injury, or they've had a surgery and they actually can't squat any different to that. If I was to go over and blatantly disrespect that coach by going, you're doing that wrong, this is wrong, that is just the biggest slap in the face, in my opinion, to that coach who obviously has been working hard with that athlete. Now, I've got no dramas with a coach or a person coming up to me and going, hey, Biggie, why does your athlete, why do they lift with their feet so close together? Or what's the reasoning behind that? And you go, oh, look, they've had this injury, they just can't do it any other way. And that's when you sort of sit there and go, oh, that makes perfect sense. Or, you go, that coach might turn around and go, well, what happens if, like, you do this and this and they give you a piece of advice? You sort of go, oh, that's not a bad idea. So it actually could be something that comes back my way from their coaching, but it's not going straight to that athlete and bypassing the coach and being that disrespectful. In Europe especially, you learn when you compete there that an athlete who's on the platform, when they lift, they're not being judged on their ability by their thought on that athlete. It's not like the people on the sideline sit there going, wow, that athlete lifts terribly with their form, and they blame the athlete. They blame the coach. So if you've got good technique, it means your coach is a good coach. If your technique is terrible, it means your coach is terrible. So a lot of that stuff in Europe tends to come back on the coach, is that if they can coach an athlete with good form or good strength or good something, that's a big thing and something held very high up over there. So look, I guess that would be sort of the first thing that peeves me a little bit when it comes to coaching, is just understanding and respecting the other coaches around you. There's multiple ways to skin a cat. The way one coach coaches versus the way you coach doesn't necessarily mean they're wrong and you're right. It's just everyone has a slightly different style of coaching. Like anything, if you see a lifter who's lifting terribly and they're about to hurt themselves and it's blatantly obvious that they're going to hurt themselves, of course, and if you get in and you speak to the coach straight away and you go, that athlete's going to hurt themselves, they keep doing that. Or you stop the athlete and just tell them to stop and take a break for a minute, rather than trying to cut through, because, like I said, it's quite disrespectful. And look, it happens all the time. Like, I have that happen to me quite regularly, where I'll be coaching at a gym and a random coach will come over and go, oh, maybe you should just change this, this, and this. And I sit there going, no, I've told them to do it that way for this reason and this reason and this reason. And the coaches, or the other random coaches, just said it because that's what they read in a book and that's what they perceive should be done for this person. And what they don't understand is that this person actually had an injury. That's the reason why they didn't actually lift the way that they were expecting it to be done. So, yeah, look, a lot of it comes down to when it comes to coaching, respecting coaching. Like I said, everyone has their own style of coaching. Respect that style of coaching. Of course, if the athlete is going to hurt themselves or something like that, always, of course, speak up and say something to make sure that doesn't happen. But at the same time, it's always being tactful about how you go about that and respecting the situation. And then obviously as an athlete, working with a coach, obviously, yeah, it's one of those things where I was brought up in with the idea to respect the coach and respect their wishes in everything. Even if you do disagree sometimes, you need to go through with it. Of course, unless it is going to hurt you, then you should probably find another coach. But, you know, there's usually a method to a madness when it comes to a coach. They usually, you know, have a bit of an idea of what they're trying to get out of something, even though it might not be right in your face. There is usually a bit of a theory behind it. So, like I said, if you don't have that trust with your coach as an athlete as well, then I suggest you find a new coach. If you don't trust your coach 110%, that's probably not the coach for you. So, yeah, there's just so many different aspects in different areas. But like I said, I just wanted to cover those little tidbits for now, and I might go into a little bit more about coach and athlete relationships a little bit more in another video. All right, everyone, hopefully that has given you a bit of an idea into coaching, respect and that type of stuff. And like I said, just if you're a coach and you see something like that and you want to ask a question, or you see something wrong with someone's form, just speak to their coach, ask the question. You might learn something. They might learn something from you. So look, it can be a win-win for everybody. All right, guys, take care, stay well, see you soon.